Hello and welcome back. I think we're up to episode 4. And I think, oh, look at that flashing away there. We're going to get to fluids this go round and perhaps automate some grey science, which we've researched. Alright, so fluids. We need to get some pump jacks in place. Not pump jacks, yes they are. Alright, so let's make a few more of those. And we need some plate. And I think some big electric poles. Alright, now the closest significant oil is there, but it's far enough away it is. Let's just go and get those and we'll bring the oil, crude oil, back closer to our base, our factory, to mitigate the spread of pollution. Alright. Just using the drag method, you just leave your left mouse button depressed as you run along with the green shaded symbol. And this works for power, it works for pipes, and it works for conveyors as well. Alright, can't see it very well, but we are in the middle. Let's equip one of these, and it highlights the places where oil actually sits. It's a really simple design effect that otherwise they sort of blend in. You can get close, they look like little bubbling spots that faintly give off a mist. Okay, how do we do this? What we do is this, to show it graphically. We draw a line down the center, or down close enough to the center, and that's our divider. Let's clear up everything around it. Don't actually need to put this here, I'm just using it to illustrate. Right, and then we point the oil into that. So each side, all the right ones obviously point towards it, and all the left ones spin around and go the other way. And what that does is it simply collects all the oil. Just got to move some trees to a single point, which we can then use to gather with. Now we build that out by going like that. Trick there, another tree, like there, like there. Now that one's blocked by that, but it's okay, we can adapt. That one's right next to it, so it doesn't need one. Come back and grab that in a minute, that's too close. Like that. Okay, so this one we're going to put it like that, drop it there, and have the last one going like that. Now we join them up. So this goes here. I think there was something, yeah, that needed to be linked. This needs to be linked because it was blocked by that one. And that one. Right, then we remove the excess pieces. That's too close, move that. That's too close, move that, and put that under to there. Right. They are all, let's make sure we didn't miss one. No, there's no green outlines. So they're all now really quickly piped to one central point and they're all going to output oil into this line. Now we throw in some power poles to link them up so that they're powered. The reason you use underground pipes is when Factorio was first using fluids, there was this concept, and it's still probably in the game, I'm not sure, I need to do the math. It was a concept that above ground pipes had a degradation over time, where the longer the pipe went, the less efficient it was. So you, for two reasons, started using underground pipes like that, and it minimized the above ground aspect of the pipes, which meant that the degradation wasn't a factor. The other reason is, as you'll see, let me put this back in my bag, you can't run through these pipes, you're blocked effectively. So putting them underground means you can run through areas of your base, and it makes it much easier to navigate. So there's really just two reasons. Next thing we're going to put in is a pump. Do I have a pump? I don't think I do. Right, so pump, I need an engine unit. An engine unit's going to be made in factories. Right, so we normally put a pump here. We'll come back and do that. But let's just put a storage facility here. Just some tanks. And hit Alt. And we can see by mousing over it that on the right hand side that is slowly filling up. So those skipjacks are all working, they're all pumping, which is good. If we had a blockage, and you can, as you mouse over it, you can see the flows. There's no blockages anywhere. If we had a blockage, very quickly one of those skipjacks or multiples of them would stop pumping, and you could identify that way which one was the one that was problematic. We'd put a pump here, and that is effectively a one-way valve. Fluids run in all directions. And there's no real problem with them running them back on the skipjacks, but I put pumps in to keep parts of the fluid network separate, meaning that you're always moving the fluid in a single direction where possible. Right, that's that hooked up. They don't put out much pollution. In fact, I don't think they put out any. But the oil processing units absolutely do. Now, by just tapping those, as in putting the skipjacks on, that enabled. It's one of those ones you blink and you miss it. We got a technology unlocked by doing that. Where is it? That's the skipjack. It's the one after that. So skipjack gives you oil processing. See, it's got an oil. You don't need science units. Just getting 50 crude oil entities mined enables this. And this opens up oil refinery and chemical plant, basic oil and solid fuels. So let's go back to base where unless I've got the materials on me. There they are. We can make some chemical plants. Let's make 5. Actually, let's just make them all. And we need some steel plate, some stone brick, more pipes, just a bunch of stuff really. And let's get those done so we can start processing the oil. What we're after is probably plastics and sulphur. Let's have a look. Yep, there's plastics. So we've got to research plastics to be able to make it, and sulphur. So how about we stop all those fun things, start research on sulphur and plastic, and then requeue. The train stuff. Okay. So skipjacks are done. We've got our oil is tapped. It's filling up those tanks. We need a bunch of steel. And I've already forgotten what I was needing. Stone blocks and iron gear wheels. Okay, so iron gear wheels are easy. Just pick them up off that belt there. Get some more here. Just run across. I'll repopulate. We need some green circuits, so let's fill up our backpack with 600. It's amazing how quick you go through green circuits. We use some pipes up there, so let's fill up our pipes and underground pipes. Alright, lastly we need some concrete blocks or stone blocks. Let's pick them off the pipe. How many can we make? 8. I think we need 10. Starting to increase. That'll make 10. Starting to increase the numbers of things that we're producing. Just scaling up as we go. Each step, scaling up, scaling up. It'll make things easier later, and as you get deeper into the tech tree, stuff just costs more. So having an excess of product is not a bad idea. Let's get some pumps too, now that I've just thought of it. Now, again, we can only make those in a factory. And I don't remember what's in a pump. What's in a pump? Pump, it's the engine unit that's the problem. Engine units are pipes, steel plates. Okay. And what? Iron gear wheels. Okie dokie. So, let's get that there. Draw a line across there. Get that here. That'll capture a fair bit of it. Pipe that straight up there. And lastly, let's get a blue factory here and have that making gears. Not a very efficient factory design there. I'm embarrassed at it myself. In fact, I can't live with that. Let's fix it. All right. How am I going to do this? Let's go this way. Under. And then let's make a gap there to there. Close it up. And then feed this up the other side. Let's remove that. Ah, the joys of spaghetti, eh? Oop. Just like that, we have rings. And we are going to make engines. Let's pull down, pull down, pull down. Pull down, pull down, pull down. And out, out into a box. And we can forget about that for a little while. Although I would like some, please, so that I can get started. This is really hungry. Okay, because it's not making a tremendous amount of gear wheels yet because we're consuming Too many iron plates. Yeah. That'll be right. I'm gonna fix that for now. Alright. Made those, and now we can make some pumps. Let's minimize this so it only makes 2 stacks. And go up here and lay out a simple first run of our oil fabric. There's enough space, I think. Right, where are the oil processors? Turn them upside down. I like them upside down. Let's place them with a gap like, whoop, not like that, like that. Just cleanly spaced. A couple of reasons why you have a little bit of space. There's no reason not to. You could do it like that, but that means that if you have pump adjacency, then there's techniques for dealing with them if they're that close, but you can't run the pipes through them easily, or do anything else if you need to have an emergency run through, especially a spaghetti base like this. So it's just easier to have a gap in place that's predictable when you're just starting out. And the only processing we've got to start with is that one recipe. So it's just oil in and crude out. Is it crude? Basic oil. Petroleum gas is what the game calls it. Okay. Oh. Manually building out factories. This will be an awful lot quicker once we can start blueprinting. But for now, the only way to do this is by hand, which is why you want things to be simple and predictable. Now, if we had all three, because there's black, white, which is petroleum, then there's the red output, and then yellow output. You would normally link them up like this, and like this. And then you simply run the pipes up like that, and they're clearly separated. There's no reason not to do that now, because we'll need them eventually. But that's how it looks like when you have all three outputting. But for now, we are only doing the first one, so I'll keep it simple. And just hook up the petroleum. And because we haven't got plastics researched yet, did we get sulphur? So sulphur's done. Our outputs aren't even in place. Now there's definitely fluid controls here, so I'm going to go for the midway point, which is about here, and drop in another block of 4 tanks, which will be where we store our petroleum while we prepare the processing, which is what comes next, to turn that into sulfuric acid, because sulfur gives us sulfuric acid and it gives us a few other things, helps us make batteries. It's wonderful stuff. Okay, let's run the power. There's far enough apart. Beautiful. We're still using simple telegraph poles. They're good enough. And that positioning still works even when we're using all three outputs. Right, let's run up here and then run the oil down to the base. It's still close enough that we don't need to use fluid transports or trains or anything like that yet. We haven't got trains researched anyway, so that's getting ahead of ourselves. So let's put that pump in I was talking about. Let's put that there, put the flow that way. See the arrow? Arrow's direction of flow. And it needs to be powered, otherwise it's just a dead end. That will stop anything getting past it. It's a one-way junction in effect. Not that that's a problem. You'll note that all the skipjacks have stopped because these tanks, if you mouse over them, 25k of oil in each one, so there's 100k of oil. I'm going to assume litres. But if it helps you, let's see what it really is. It says K, it doesn't say the unit. Interesting. I'm going with litres. Alright, now let's get over here to our about there, I think. Don't forget to put a pipe on the junction. That's a new quality of life feature that is new in 2.0. That line showing the join never used to exist. That's so handy. I'm really enjoying that. That's a new feature. And you can see that output there is purple, different colour, and we've got it all connected correctly. Awesome, and it's outputting straight away. All the flames are on, and we have petroleum gas being output into that fuel tank. Now, do we have bottlenecking? See bottlenecking by... No, we don't. See, it's flashing away straight away. If you have bottlenecking, you'll get this will not clear out immediately. See, it's just clearing out straight away. It's just barely even touching it. And the other extreme, which is an extra oil refinery, is cleaning out as well. So there is still flow limits on pipes, but we're not even remotely close to it. And that's pulling down the gas. Excellent. Let's get a buffer here. So we'll put another pump in here. We'll pipe that there. And we will put it into a tank. And we will close that there. And we can see the tank's filling up even though we're using the fuel. So we actually have plenty of fuel, raw petroleum being refined, and even though we're refining it, it's keeping up. Okay. Next, we constructed 10 chemical plants, similar to the oil refineries, but obviously different. Let's put these in, again with a gap. Alright, let's put a definite block of 5 and 5, because that plastics is at 96%, it's going to complete. And we're going to do half sulphur and half plastic. So let's do the first one as sulphur. Sulphur needs water and processed fuel. That's convenient, isn't it? It just drops in. Perfect. Join those up. And then cap each one. And then we'll do the same for water. We'll do it one up so that they don't conflict. Don't know what plastic uses yet, so let's hold that thought. join those into the system. Let's get rid of the pipe so we can see what it looks like. Nice, simple, repeatable. They need power, so let's put our power in there and have it sitting out with a high power line, which will connect to the main system. This outputs a solid sulphur, so let's run a run of pipes across the bottom, not pipes, belts across the bottom, and output. Oh. Right, now that's not doing anything yet because we need water. Right, so plastics need coal and petroleum gas. So the petroleum gas we can bring over from here, easy. And it's got two input options, but we only need one. So let's just pipe that up as we would normally, because we've still got another problem to deal with, and that is where we get the water from. Now we're going to put a run here and then a run here. Okay, now we need some coal. Now it might become clear why I built so close to our main base, because our coal is coming in here. We're going to pick up coal and we're going to output plastic. And for now, we're going to stick it in a box. I missed one. To join it up, let's put that there. Same deal over here. Let's put the output into a box. Alright, now the sulphur's still not working because we still need some water. So let's get it. And run across all the way to... That's not a bad spot actually. Let's see if we can put a water tap, offshore pump. Right, so the offshore pumps, there's a spot for one. Looks like the right height. And we have got water now going back. That's correctly connected. Water's going back all the way to the sulphur, and we're outputting sulphur. So really quickly, we've tapped the skipjacks up the top. Skipjacks are outputting oil. We've cracked that oil, and we'll get more options for cracking as we progress through the tree. But all we need to do to get going is to create sulphur and plastic, and that enables a whole wealth of new things to get built, including the next piece, which is sulfuric acid, which we use to mine uranium. So we're actually getting ridiculously close after only 3.5 hours to mining uranium. And on the map, you can see there's a massive 7.6 million uranium slot over there, which is where we would first use our sulphur. But sulphur is also used, sulfuric acid, is also used to etch batteries. So it's got a variety of different uses. Oh, it's made in a cryogenic plant. That's new. That's new. Must be a different planet. Cryogenic infers cold. Interesting. Interesting. All right. So this will run our gas. That'll continue filling up. These tanks are full effectively. We don't need a water tank. I might put one in anyway, just so that that's overflowing, so it gives me a sense of how much water's coming in. So it's a really quick and dirty chemical processing plant that didn't impact anything else. And always check your power. 70%, that's fine. And check our pollution. That's being protected by this, really, the forests. This one's got nothing, it's just desert. It's going to spread there quickest, especially now that we're building up. These still have a big enough gap that I'm not worried about them. Alright. Let's have a look at our research. Ooh, explosive. There's battery. So batteries require sulfuric acid to etch the battery. I think advanced circuits do as well. No, they just use basics. But plastic bars. So there is a limit there, and it's your gateway to the next level up in circuit design. You need to have the plastics in place, which we've got now. Fluid wagons, we'll make those. That may be our first train event, is to take the sulfuric acid to pick up that uranium. Concrete was, oh, that's already been queued. And explosives. Odd that explosives aren't gated by grey science, but they're not. Okay. I think that'll do. It's a solid little quick lesson on how to throw out fluids and how to make it nice and neat and simple. The key is nice and predictable underground piping, equidistant refineries, equidistant chemical processing plants. The only piece that's truly random is this piece, and that can't be helped. That's just a function of where the game has seeded the oil. But by putting a line through the rough center, you can quickly harvest them all and make a nice, predictable, easily fault findable pump skipjack layout that'll extract all that oil. Now, oil, unlike other resources, doesn't run out. It slows down over time. Let's just talk about that for a minute. I'll run back up. Oil always is produced by pumping stations. That just constantly is being made, and the oil yield of each spot has a percentage value, and this yield currently is 110%. That'll drop down over time, and as oil is extracted, to approach zero, but it never actually approaches zero. So your oil will always be produced. Excuse me. But it'll never stop. So in time you can put different classes of modules in here, like speed modules are usually the best, and that'll increase the speed with which it pumps, and that offsets the ever-increasing reduction of productivity that each skipjack puts out. That just means that over time you need to tap more and more yields. So it's got 539, this one's got 24,000%. That'll drop over time. In an hour when we check it, next time we check in, that'll be down at 2,450, say. Can't see any other oil on the map yet. We're still doing the scanning with our radars, but we haven't. That's as far as the radar range is, so we need to extend out to find more. But yeah, that's the go with. So tapping them is never a waste. It will always bring dividends, and having somewhere for them to be stored is always a good plan. Gives you a bit of a buffer, but they will run out or run low eventually, so you need to bring in more and add them to the system. So we'll probably put a train system here to offload oil and just have it offloading directly into that small array of refineries, and we'll keep this starter base going, because remember, that's all this is a starter base. This is hardly the finished product. I haven't even bothered yet to start laying out this science, military science. Although we've got the building blocks in place, the piercing rounds, we've got those being produced. The walls are really just a function of the stone bricks, and we've got stone bricks being produced here. So we can convert those into walls with one stage, and that's 2/3 of the production. And the last one is grenades, which is grenades are gunpowder and iron plate, so they're cheap. These are a lot of coal though, but you have to make science, so we'll tap yet more of this coal. Let's have a look on the map to make sure we've got more coal. Let's get rid of the pollution, just have a look. There's a heap up there, there's a bunch down there, so coal's not a problem for us. We can bring that in without any hassle, probably bring that one up and have it directly supplement this one because it'll expire soon. We've got iron ore to the east. What am I saying? The east. We've got a big chunk, 10 million of copper up to the north. There's the radars rescanning. Another thing with radars when they scan, if they scan over an alien base, which they regularly do, that causes aggro as well. So that's just another way that the evolution is triggered on these ever-increasing bases. You can see that they're starting to get larger and a little bit more concerning when we have to clear them out. The larger they are, obviously, the more work there is to do. I think I saw, though, vehicles. So we've got trains now. We've got train tracks. We need to start making some train tracks and having them stored. So how about I set up really quickly the train recipe just so that we've got that being made. The only thing we need is iron sticks that we don't have already. So iron sticks are just a function of plate rolled into a stick or sliced up into sticks. It's the only thing from memory that uses iron sticks is train tracks. Makes sense. Yeah, this is truly spaghetti at this point. Am I going to endanger anything by doing that? No, I'm not. Okay. So I'll put that there. Input plates from there, and we're going to output sticks to the far side of that row there, and that will give us the basics for, oh, I need to go past there, basics for the train lines. Let's use those, and we're going to use sticks. Supplement that with these guys. We're going to remove this part of that track. We're going to run that directly up there into here. Oh. Before I put that there, I'm just going to check what's the ratio. So it's 1.5 and 1. So there's no real stress on that. I can get 4, which is great. Put those there. Pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up. And I'll use a faster inserter on that side and a slower one on the way out, and quickly and set them to be train tracks. Because we need a lot of train tracks. And there is no reason not to just make as many as we possibly can. So we will. Not going to put a limit on this box, just going to let it run. Alright, so bonus. Very quick and dirty train track setup. Let's make some wagons in our bags while we're logging out. And I think we're done here. Till next time, people. Bye.